Hi, treasure. Have you ever been going through one of the hardest seasons of your life and somebody looked at you and said, "You're so strong. You got this. Everything happens for a reason." And you know they meant well. You know that they're trying to encourage you. So you smile, you nod. Maybe you even say, "Yeah, I know. My name is Nassimbwa, and I'm not your strong black woman. And I've been there before." But in the inside, I wanted to scream, "I don't want to be strong right now." I want you to imagine a woman who is going through one of the hardest seasons of her life. Maybe she lost someone. Maybe she's overwhelmed with motherhood. Maybe she's taking care of everybody else while quietly falling apart herself. She finally gets the courage to tell somebody, "I'm tired." And instead of hearing, "Tell me what's going on," she hears, "Girl, you're so strong. You'll get through it." And just like that, the mask goes right back on. Because sometimes "you're so strong" doesn't feel like encouragement. Sometimes it feels like, "Don't fall apart here." Today, we're talking about toxic positivity, what it is, and one easy way to stop it. So take out your pen and paper. Let's go. Somewhere along the way, we started believing that healing meant never feeling sad, that if we cried, we were weak, that if we admitted we were overwhelmed, we were being negative. And sometimes we don't even need another person to say it to us anymore. We start doing it ourselves. Think about the woman I just described. Now she's sitting in her car after work. She had a terrible day. She's exhausted. She's overwhelmed, and she can feel the tears coming. But instead of crying, she wipes her eyes and says, "Girl, get yourself together. Other people have it worse. You have so much to be grateful for." And yes, she does have things to be grateful for. But gratitude doesn't erase exhaustion. Faith doesn't erase grief. And someone else's suffering doesn't make your pain imaginary. You don't have to heal by convincing yourself that you shouldn't hurt. You heal by acknowledging that you do. There's a difference between hope and denial. Hope says, "This hurts and I hope I can get through it." Denial says, "This shouldn't hurt because I'm supposed to be okay." And sometimes toxic positivity disguises denial as faith. I want you to picture something. Imagine you're carrying a backpack, but this isn't just a regular backpack. Inside are bricks. And if you know bricks, bricks are heavy. And in the backpack, one brick says grief, another says disappointment, another says anxiety, and another says burnout. Maybe there's one that even says the thing I never told anyone about. And every time something happens, instead of processing it, you put another brick in the backpack. Then you keep walking, and people see you carrying all this weight and they say, "Look at you. You're so strong. You'll be okay. Just stay positive." So you smile, you straighten your back, and you keep walking. But nobody asks you, "Is that heavy?" Nobody says, "Can I help you carry that?" And eventually something happens. You start believing that carrying the backpack is what makes you strong. So even when somebody offers to help you, you say, "No, I'm good." Even when you're exhausted, you say, "I'm fine." Even when you're hurting, you say, "I'll get over it." The backpack never got lighter. You just got better at pretending it wasn't heavy. That's what toxic positivity can do. It doesn't remove the burden, it teaches you to smile while carrying it. And there's even research to back this up. This backpack that I'm describing isn't just a metaphor. Researchers have actually studied this experience among Black women. There's something called the Superwoman schema, sometimes called the strong Black woman role. Researcher Dr. Sherwood Gisco explored this with African American women and found several expectations connected to the strong Black woman role. Feeling like you have to show strength, suppressing your emotions, you can't be vulnerable, and not able to depend on other people. Feeling like you have to succeed even when you don't have the resources you need, and feeling responsible for everybody else. And listen, being strong isn't the problem. Our strength has helped us survive. It has helped us take care of our families. But what happens when strength stops being something you have and becomes something you're required to perform? What happens when you don't feel like you're allowed to say, I'm scared, I'm exhausted, I need help, I'm not okay? Because everybody knows you as the strong one. This is where the research gets really important. A study involving 390 Black women between the ages of 30 and 46 found that emotional suppression was associated with higher depressive symptoms. Another study of 447 Black women found that the Superwoman schema was associated with higher stress, anxiety, and depressive symptoms. So when we constantly tell ourselves, keep going, don't cry, you're strong, we may think we're helping ourselves cope, but constantly suppressing what's happening underneath the mask doesn't necessarily make the emotion disappear. And I want to make this clear. I'm not telling Black women to stop being strong. I'm asking, why does our definition of strength have to exclude vulnerability? Maybe saying, I need help is strength. Maybe crying is strength. Maybe setting something down instead of carrying it until you break is strength. Maybe taking off the mask is strength. Strength shouldn't require silence. And sometimes I don't need you to tell me, girl, you're strong, you got this. Sometimes I need you to just listen, to just be there and make space for the real answer. So if we've spent years learning to push the emotion down, how do we start doing something different? I think it begins with something incredibly simple. We tell ourselves the truth. So how do we start telling ourselves the truth? Imagine that same woman gets home after that difficult day. Someone asks, how are you? Her automatic response comes out, I'm fine. But this time, she catches herself. She stops and says, you know what? Actually, I'm not fine. I'm overwhelmed. I've been trying to hold everything together and I'm tired. Nothing magically changes in that moment. Her problems are still there, but something has changed. She has stopped fighting herself on top of fighting everything else. That's where we can start. We can start by acknowledging how we truly feel. Instead of I'm fine, you can try I'm overwhelmed. Instead of I shouldn't feel this way, you can try this is hard. Instead of I need to get over it, we can try I need time to process this. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, this is not as simple as she's making it seem. But literally, you either do it or you don't. You don't have to fix the emotion immediately. First, just tell the truth about it. Because healing begins when honesty replaces pretending. We don't have to pretend anymore. And here's what I've learned as a therapist. Being positive isn't pretending everything is okay. Real positivity says, I believe things can get better. Toxic positivity says, I shouldn't feel bad. Those are two completely different things. Let's say your friend calls you after losing her job. She's scared. She doesn't know how she's going to pay her bills. And she tells you, I don't know what I'm going to do. Toxic positivity sounds like, don't worry about it. Everything happens for a reason. Just stay positive. But healthy hope sounds different. Healthy hope says, that sounds scary. I'm here. We'll figure out what comes next. Do you hear the difference? One skips over the pain to get to the positive.
It could be worse.
The other sits with the pain and still leaves room for hope. Healthy hope makes room for emotion. Toxic positivity tries to silence them. You can have faith and still cry. You can be grateful and still grieve. You can love your children and feel overwhelmed by motherhood. And you can be blessed and still be tired. Two things can be true at the same time. So what happens when you take off your mask? Now, imagine something different. Imagine you're having a hard day, and instead of pretending, you tell someone, I'm struggling today, and they don't try to fix you. They don't tell you to look on the bright side. They don't remind you how strong you are. They simply say, I know you're hurting. I'm here. Imagine how freeing that would feel to not have to perform strength, to not have to make your pain comfortable for everybody else, to not have to turn every struggle into a motivational speech, to just be. And for the first time, you realize, I don't have to earn support by reaching my breaking point. I can ask for help before I collapse. I can cry without apologizing. I can take off my mask, not because your circumstances magically changed, but because you finally gave yourself permission to be human. And treasure. Remember that backpack I talked about earlier? Maybe you've been carrying yours for years, and maybe people have spent your entire life telling you how strong you are because of how much you can carry. But what if strength isn't about how many bricks you can carry? What if strength is knowing when to put the backpack down? Your emotions are not your enemy. They are information. Sadness can tell you something mattered to me. Fear can tell you I don't feel safe right now. Exhaustion can tell you I can't keep going like this. You don't have to choose between faith and honesty. You don't have to choose between gratitude and grief. And you don't have to wear the strong Black woman mask anymore. Because healing doesn't begin the moment you force yourself to smile. Healing begins when you tell yourself the truth. So this week, I want you to try to catch yourself when you say, I'm fine. Pause and ask yourself, but what is actually true? And whatever the answer is, make room for it. As always, I want to leave you with God's words. Psalm 34:18 says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. I love this verse because it doesn't say stop crying. He doesn't say look on the bright side. He doesn't say other people have it worse. He doesn't even tell the brokenhearted to pretend they're not brokenhearted. He gets close. And maybe that's what we need to learn to do for ourselves and for each other. Sometimes the person who's hurting doesn't need an answer. Sometimes they don't need advice. Sometimes they just need someone willing to sit beside them and say, I'm here. Treasure. Take off the mask. Tell yourself the truth. And maybe today, put down one brick. I hope that I was able to provide a space for you to breathe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.